We are 2 months into the year, and some of what we have committed to is still working, and some of it feels a little different now. Now is not the time to push harder. It's time to notice what's actually true and what we're actually planting and what blooms we're looking forward to. I find it a really beneficial practice at the start of each month to take a mindful pause. Life can fly by, and taking this mindful pause can give us a chance to move forward with awareness and alignment opposed to just getting swept away by the calendar of events and to-dos. So, take a mindful moment with me to say goodbye to February and hello, March. Hello, friend, and welcome to Torches, Yoga, and Mindfulness. I'm Lauren, and I'll be your coach. If you are curious about mindfulness, healing, and practical habits that actually work, you're in the right place, because here we focus on simple but powerful practices grounded in ancient wisdom and modern science to care for both our minds and bodies. So go ahead, hit that like and subscribe so you don't miss what's next. March starts off with a quieter, more inward energy. This is a time that naturally pulls us towards intuition, reflection, surrender, and emotional closure. It's a softer beginning, asking us to listen more than push. And we're going to kind of lean into that energy this month, talking about intuition versus impulses and how we can actually tell the difference in real life. As we move towards the middle of the month, around the 10th, things are going to start to pick up. There may be a strong urges for connection, growth, or change. These desires aren't a red flag, but they do ask for mindfulness. This is a moment to pause and ask, is this something I'm ready to nurture long term, or is it just for the moment? This month, we're going to explore how to tell the difference between a passing impulse and a true inner knowing. Later in the month, around the 20th, there is a noticeable shift in the energy. It turns more fiery and forward moving. Confidence increases, clarity arrives, and plans that kind of felt foggy or uncertain start to make sense. This is supportive energy for starting something new or finally taking action on something you've been circling around for a while. Early March is about letting go and clearing space. Later in the month, it's about stepping forward and speaking clearly. And throughout the month, if things feel a little chaotic or fast, that's your cue to anchor back into your body. Take a few deep breaths, feel your feet on the floor, slow yourself down. This month asks us to be patient, flexible, and grounded, even as the momentum builds. March 20th is the Spring Equinox here in the Northern Hemisphere. Don't worry, I'll be doing a full, more in-depth video on that later this month. And mid-month, we're going to turn this into something practical. I have for you, I'm really excited to share a 14-day discernment experiment. But for now, for the equinox, this moment marks the return of light and vitality. It's often referred to as the astrological new year, and across cultures, it represents balance, renewal, and fresh starts. Culturally, March has always been a threshold month. We're moving out of winter's dormancy and into spring's slow awakening. The land begins to soften and life stirs beneath the surface. We also shift our relationship with time this month as daylight savings time starts on March 8th and we spring forward an hour. Early this month, on the 3rd, we have a full moon. This one is known as the worm moon. It's never been my favorite name, but it gets this name because it's when the ground begins to thaw in the colder regions and earthworms start to reappear, signaling the return of life to the soil. This year, parts of North America's west coast, Australia, and East Asia will be in for a treat with a lunar eclipse called a blood moon, not for any ominous reasons, but because the Earth passes between the sun and the moon, casting a shadow that turns the moon a deep reddish orange. But throughout history, blood moons have been interpreted pretty dramatically. People once believed they were bad omens. Food was covered and to avoid bad luck, and some people fasted entirely. Certain Native American tribes believed the moon itself was wounded and sick, so they would sing it healing songs to aid in its recovery. I think that's beautiful. Later, Christian interpretations framed blood moons as signs of the end of times. Personally, I think that's a little dramatic, especially since these happen every 2 to 3 years. But who am I to judge? As a millennial, I've lived through like 15 different predicted end of times, from the computer shutdown that was supposed to have happened midnight, January 1st, 2000, to the Mayan calendar ending on December 21st, 2012, and everything in between and after. Though, friend, when I was looking into how many we've actually lived through, if you want a good laugh, there is a Wikipedia page that lists the dates predicted for apocalyptic events, past, present, and future. It's pretty silly seeing this giant list compiled all together. But back to the moon. In modern spirituality circles, blood moons are viewed as powerful moments of transformation, deep release, and rebirth. Which feels fitting here, considering we've been talking about taking our mindfulness practices beyond regulation and into transformation. Coincidence? Maybe. Cosmic timing? Only time will tell. All right, turning back to our history books, March gets its name from Mars, the Roman god of war. But Mars wasn't just about conflict. He was also associated with agriculture, protection, and the energy needed to move life forward. In the early Roman calendar, March was actually the first month of the year, setting the tone for action after winter stillness. The flower of the month is the daffodil, symbolizing hope, imagination, and ambition. One of the earliest blooms in spring, it's a reminder that life continues even after long periods of darkness. Here's a fun little fact that I found cool about daffodils. Did you know that they don't mix well with other flowers once they've been cut and put into a vase? They release a toxic sap that causes the other flowers to wilt. Botanically, I find that interesting, yes. Metaphorically, also pretty interesting. It's a little reminder that not everything thrives in the same container. Some things need their own space to grow. Aquamarine is the stone of the month, symbolizing strength and perseverance. Ancient Greeks believed Poseidon, the god of the seas, created aquamarine from seawater, and so the sailors would carry it for protection. Nowadays, it's said to calm emotional waves, soothe conflict, and improve mental clarity. Bloodstone, that's another one of my favorites. I got one here. It is historically associated with vitality, courage, grounding, and protection. And if you have a birthday in March, you are in some wonderful, inspiring company. Albert Einstein was born March 14th, 1879. And Aretha Franklin, the Queen of Soul herself, was born March 25th. And Lady Gaga, a visionary pioneer on stage, was born March 28th. March holds a ton of observances. It was a little overwhelming, actually, flipping through daysoftheyear.com, but this month is National Women's History Month, Spiritual Awareness Month, Endometriosis Awareness Month, and Caffeine Awareness Month, just to name a few. One that really stood out to me is that this is National Optimism Month, started in 2016 to highlight the benefits of an optimistic mindset. And honestly, that fits March perfectly. Optimism reduces stress, supports mental health through dopamine production, it strengthens our immune functions, and improves our overall well-being. We can celebrate and practice optimism all month long. Create a playlist of songs that lift your spirits. Volunteer. And I'm not even kidding, daysoftheyear.com is even encouraging us to start a gratitude journal. So now it's not just me telling you. If you haven't started one yet, this is your reminder. Getting into the day-to-day, March 2nd is National Teen Mental Health Wellness Day. Teenagers are resilient, yes, but they're also under immense pressure from school, friends, work, family expectations. Sometimes when life gets busy, support can feel far away. So on March 2nd, create space for a caring, judgment-free conversation with a teenager in your life. A simple chat and regular check-ins can help them feel strengthened and connected. March 8th is one of my favorites. It is International Women's Day. The first celebration was in 1909 and looked very different than what it does now. European women gathered in large demonstrations demanding the right to vote and hold public office. I love using this day to celebrate the women in my life. I usually bring some homemade lotions or some homegrown plants to the women around me, just a simple way of saying, I see you and I appreciate you. All right, March 12th is National Plant a Flower Day. Yes, please. If you don't have a green thumb, visit a florist. If you have kids, get them out in the garden with you. If plants won't thrive where you are, maybe take some time to visit a park or an arboretum. Arboretum. On Sunday, March 28th, let's take a mindful pause and turn off the lights for an hour. This is Earth Hour Day. Electricity is in almost everything we do, and we can take it for granted. Imagine having to wash your clothes by hand, build a fire to stay warm, not having TV or music playing in the background, or having to call it a day when it got dark. All these little luxuries come at the expense of our planet. So, for an hour on the 28th, turn off any electronics you can and take this awareness with you throughout the year. Turn off electronics when you leave the house. Turn off lights when you leave a room. Bump the AC up a degree or two. Hang laundry on a line and open the windows when it's nice outside. March 30th is Take a Walk in a Park Day. We're always talking about our mindful walks here, and the benefits go on and on and on, from mental to physical wellness. So on the 30th, take a walk in a park near you. Take a friend, take a pup, make a scavenger hunt of it, and see how many plants or animal species you can spot. All right, if you want more fun ways to sprinkle mindfulness throughout your day and your through your month, make sure to check out daysoftheyear.com. Still not sponsoring this. Friend, March reminds us that momentum doesn't start with action. It starts with awareness, always. Before you leap forward, pause. Before you commit, listen. And before you judge where you are, notice how far you've come. This month gives us space to clear what no longer fits and courage to take that first step forward towards what does. This month we practice discernment and we'll move through March with patience and intention. Friend, thank you so much for sharing a piece of your day with me in this gentle, mindful check-in. Stay present, stay kind to yourself, and I will see you soon.